They showed up with matches, lies, and the confidence of people who've never actually started a fire. They whispered in group chats, passed around rumors like party favors, and swore that night would be the one where you finally broke. They even practiced your downfall in bathroom mirrors, rehearsing your scream like it was a monologue for a play no one asked to see. They were ready, they were loud, they were wrong, because when the moment came, you didn't run. You didn't cry. You didn't even flinch. You stretched, cracked your neck, and asked if anyone brought marshmallows. Nothing terrifies a mob like a target who won't perform. Nothing breaks a pyromaniac like a smile that doesn't blink. They thought your silence was fear. They had no idea it was focus. That calm wasn't emptiness. It was aim. And you were already miles ahead of their little bonfire. See, they didn't understand the first rule of fire. If it's flammable, it wasn't meant to stay. You'd already burned the old wallpaper. Watched the mold run screaming into the night. You didn't need to survive the flames. You'd already cleared the kindling. Your peace wasn't fragile. It was fireproof. And they were about to learn the hard way that you don't fight arson. You invoice it. But that wasn't the whole story. Because what they didn't know, what they couldn't know, was that entire committees had formed around your collapse. Ex-friends, distant relatives, co-workers who couldn't open a PDF without YouTube tutorials. They all gathered in digital back rooms, hyping each other up on fantasy and spite. They narrated your downfall like sports announcers who lost the remote, shouting over static, making up the rules as they went. She's crumbling. He's finally cracked. Except you weren't. You were listening and laughing. They thought fire was power. You knew fire was housekeeping. You let them believe they were dangerous because the truth would have ruined their fun. Let them light their little matches, whisper their half-truths, throw smoke like it was a weapon. You didn't stop them. You invited them. You even helped. Try here, you said, tapping the rib that grew back over the scar they left last winter. Not because you wanted to be hurt again, but because you wanted them to feel it, to earn their failure, to exhaust every lie, every jab, every cheap shot, until they had nothing left but silence. And when the first spark finally caught, it didn't burn you. It curled into your palm like a kitten with a criminal record. They were shocked, confused. Some even backed away, because a fire needs fuel. And you were already ash. You'd risen once. You weren't coming back to beg. You were coming back to build. And this time, the blueprint wasn't about survival. It was about sovereignty. They told stories about you that had more plot holes than their child support history. They claimed you were broken, unstable, never the same. But here's the thing about people who talk the loudest. Their narratives collapse under their own weight. And when you stayed standing, when you didn't monologue or beg or scream on cue, that's when the real damage began. Not to you, to them. Because the silence, that's what broke them. Not the fire, not the fight, the quiet, that heavy, arrogant, unbothered calm you wore like a leather jacket in July. They wanted a meltdown. You gave them paperwork. You didn't argue. You archived. Didn't clap back. You documented every lie, Every betrayal, every "I was just joking," that wasn't. You saved it. Not for revenge. For records. Because revenge is messy, expensive, boring. You did something far more disrespectful. You stayed calm. You got stronger. You benched their betrayal until it turned into discipline. You did cardio with their rumors until your breath was smooth, and your laugh was colder than a power outage on confession night. Now your endurance is disrespectful. You could jog past their torches and not break a sweat. Just ask if anybody's got a phone charger. They mistook your peace for emptiness. Joke's on them. Your stillness is loaded. That's not apathy. That's aim. You don't waste bullets or feelings. You stand there like a vault locked from the inside, while they rattle around outside like loose coins in a dryer. And when you finally open, it's not to let them in. It's to inventory the gold they swore you didn't have. Then slam it shut with a smile that says, "Audit it." And when they tried to rebrand your survival as luck, please. Luck doesn't show up with calluses and spreadsheets. Luck doesn't have a filing system for forgiveness. You didn't get lucky. You got licensed. Licensed in letting go. Licensed in laughing late. Licensed in looking at chaos like it's a board meeting that's already over. They kept sending messengers. Soft hands, sharp teeth, fake concern. You offered snacks. Watched them chew on their own narratives, then handed them napkins and exit instructions. You do hospitality like a hitman, polite, punctual, and permanent. You learned the power of a door politely closed. The loudest no isn't a scream. It's a calm that says, "That doesn't work for me," followed by absolutely nothing. They wanted you fragile so they could feel merciful. Instead, you came back flame retardant and funny. The kind of funny that makes people check the mirror before they laugh. Jokes that crack locks. One-liners that open vaults. Punchlines that knock the wind out of history. And here's the secret they'll never process. You're not chasing peace. You manufacture it. Industrial-grade serenity. Forklift-certified boundaries. OSHA-compliant detachment. You do safety like a sinner who learned the codes. You wear your triggers on a lanyard marked Employee of the Month and clock into your own life like, "Who's the supervisor?" Me. Always me. So let them huddle with their matches and their motivational delusions. You've outgrown flammable. You're tempered glass and rude diamonds now. Your blueprints have smoke alarms wired to instinct. Your palace has sprinklers that burst with holy water and sarcasm. The moat, filled with iced coffee and consequences. If they swim, they shiver. If they don't, they starve. Either way, you're hosting brunch. And if there's one last flare, let it rise, let it hiss, let it glow like gossip about to age badly. Then watch it sputter under your weather system. Because here's the finale they didn't budget for. You turned their bonfire into backlighting. You stepped forward, spotlighted by their failure, and the world finally saw what you always knew. Fire is drama, and you're past that. Curtain up, house lights on, exit signs blazing your name. They started studying your temperature like meteorologists, on overtime, praying for a cold snap, a crack, a tremor. You gave them a forecast that never changes. overcast, with a 100% chance of minding your business. They don't know what to do with a storm that files its taxes, a thunderhead that drinks water, lifts weights, and deletes old texts like a sacrament. You've become the polite apocalypse, the end of their world, served with coasters and a sign that says, "Remove shoes." You cleaned house so well, the ghosts asked for references. Floors so shiny, your reflection winked. Drawers labeled, "Never again." A junk drawer full of old versions of you. Taped shut, warning, contents bite. They came poking with nostalgia sticks, hoping to touch the past. Found out you keep memories like museum exhibits. Roped off, temperature controlled, no flash photography. If they touch, alarms. If they run, sprinklers. You're not healing for their entertainment. You're renovating for your reign. They keep asking where the old you went. You point to the foundation and say, "Recycled." Every insult is insulation. Every betrayal is a brick. You built ventilation for truth, a skylight for the ridiculous. When rumors fog the windows, you crack them open and let the breeze carry the stupid away. Now the air in your life smells like audits and rain, the kind of clean that makes liars sneeze. They tried to bait you with, "Be the bigger person," like you aren't already a skyscraper with sarcasm for elevators. You ride to the top floor, wave from the rooftop, and let their tiny drama look like toy fires in a doll city. You water your plants, pet your peace, and sip from a mug that says, "World's chillest villain." Not because you're evil, but because you stopped volunteering for their fires and started billing for your warmth. They came hunting for chaos. You handed them policy. You've got onboarding now. Code of conduct. Hard hat required. Reflective vest of discernment. Meetings start on time, end on boundary. Minutes distributed with action items, and unsubscribes. Imagine the audacity of a person who takes their sanity seriously. Terrifying. They expected a meltdown. You sent a calendar invite titled "Professional Distance," a master class. Your humor grew teeth, not the kind that bites first, the kind that smiles while measuring. You joke like a surgeon. Steady hands, clean cuts, no unnecessary blood. They throw shade. You install solar panels. They send smoke. You monetize the haze. Somewhere along the line they realized your indifference isn't icy. It's expensive. It costs them access, charges late fees, accrues interest, every time they say your name like they own it. You made it fireproof without making it cold. You kept the tenderness, tossed the gasoline. You give warmth to those who bring logs, not lighter fluid. You don't beg to be believed. You let your life testify under oath. With Exhibits A, through Look at Me, breathing. The right ones gather close and help tend the flame. The wrong ones cough at the smoke and call it toxic. That's not toxicity. That's accountability diffusing through the air like peppermint and judgment. So here's the closing ceremony. Stamped and notarized. You don't run from arsonists. You invoice them for heeding. You don't argue with liars. You let the timestamps sing. You don't perform collapse for sympathy or rage for ratings. You keep it rude, righteous and unbothered. A walking sprinkler system with a crown and a grin. If they light it, you learn from it. If they burn it, you build from it. If they mourn your silence, you turn up the music and dance on the blueprint. And on the nights when old sparks try to flirt with your edges, you smile like a locksmith who knows every door here answers to you. You open the window, let the last smoke out, and whisper to the dark, "Nice try." Then you lay back, ash-proof and arrogant, while the city hums your new name. Too cool to catch, too bright to burn, too funny to fear. They wanted a torch. You became the sun.